The king had commissioned the crafting of a crown as a tribute to the gods. He gave a carefully weighed amount of gold to a smith, who produced a beautiful crown within due course. The king became suspicious. However, the craftsman had not used all of the gold he had been given in the crown. It was a common trick to alloy gold with cheaper silver, but the king knew no way of proving that the craftsman had been dishonest. Right. Let's understand the context of the paragraph. The paragraph describes how King Archimedes solved the problem of determining whether the craftsman dishonest, cheated by using silver instead of gold, right? Instead of gold in a crown, by observing displaced water in a bath. Here they are talking about bath, right? Displaced water in a bath. He discovered a method to calculate density, right? Proving the craftsman dishonesty, right? Craftsman dishonesty. Let's move to the first blank. So we are having options: if, whether, thus, that. Let's try to understand which one is correct. If, typically used for conditional sentences. If the craftsman had used pure gold, the crown would have been heavier. It's not correct here. Why? It introduces a condition which doesn't align with the king's suspicion stated as fact, right? Now the next one is whether. Whether expresses alternatives or doubt. He wondered whether the craftsman had been truthful. Not correct here. Why? Because it implies uncertainty, but the king's suspicion doesn't suggest alternatives, right? Next one is thus. Thus indicates a result or conclusion. The craftsman used less gold, thus the crown was lighter. It doesn't suit the context because the sentence is not describing a result. Now the last one is that. That introduces statement or belief held by the king, right? Aligning with his definitive suspicion rather than a question or doubt. So that is often used to report thoughts, beliefs, or statements as facts. She suspected that he was hiding the truth. He believed that the work was incomplete. So that is the correct answer here. That the craftsman had not used all of the gold he had been given in the crown. It was a common trick to alloy gold with cheaper silver, but the king knew no way of proving that the craftsman had been dishonest. He called upon his close friend Archimedes to solve the problem. Archimedes knew that gold and silver have different densities. That a lump of gold will weigh about twice as much as a lump of silver the same size. So the options we are having in this blank: meaning, meant, means, to mean. Meaning elaborates on the difference in densities, explaining what it implies, right? So it is a present participle which is used to expand on a preceding clause. Now it is a correct option here, but let's see why others not. Meant mean that something already determined in the past. The difference in density meant the crown was not made of pure gold. Sentence describes an ongoing explanation, right? Not a past determination. So it's not a correct one. The next one is means. Means indicates definition or purpose. Density means the mass per unit of volume. Not correct here because it doesn't fit the explanatory flow needed here, right? Different densities. Let's see to mean. To mean refers to intention or purpose. He spoke clearly to mean that he supported the decision. Why it's incorrect? It implies intention, which is irrelevant in this context. So the correct option is meaning. Let's move to the next one. The trouble was that no one knew how to work out the size of an irregularly shaped object like a crown. Whilst he was pondering this conundrum, Archimedes went to the public baths to relax. As he slipped into the water, he noticed some spilling over the edge, and he had a sudden flash of inspiration. The dash water must have exactly the same volume as him. Let's see what options do we have here. Submerged, disposed, diagnosed, displaced. Submerged. Let's see what does this mean. Submerged refers to being fully underwater. He submerged himself in a pool to cool off. But it's not correct here because it doesn't describe the movement of water caused by displacement. Let's see, the other one is disposed. Disposed refers to discarding or getting rid of something. She disposed of the old furniture after moving. It doesn't fit here because the concept of water volume. Next is diagnosed. It refers to identifying a problem or condition. The doctor diagnosed her illness quickly. It's so diagnosed. Diagnosed refers to identifying a problem or condition. The doctor diagnosed her illness quickly. It's unrelated to the physical action of water displacement. So it's not a right option here. Next is displaced. What does this mean? Displaced refers to water being moved or pushed aside when Archimedes entered the bath, matching the idea of volume displacement, right? So the right option is displaced. Displaced describes physical movement caused by an external force. The object displaced water in the tank. The balloon displaced air as it expanded. So displaced is the correct option. And if you know the volume of an object, you can easily calculate its density. All Archimedes had to do was find out whether a lump of pure gold with the same volume as the crown weighed more. The crown would be lighter than it should be if the craftsman had deviously used some silver instead. Archimedes, in a fit of jubilation, leapt straight out of the bath and ran naked down the streets, shouting, "Eureka! I have found it. The goldsmith soon dash." What options do we have? Dash and was dealt with by the king. So options are conjured, contradicted, confessed, condemned. Let's see which one is correct. So confessed looks correct option here. Let's talk about how. Confessed means to admit wrongdoing, fitting the goldsmith admitting his deceit after being exposed by Archimedes. Right? So confessed describes acknowledgement or admission of guilt. The suspect confessed to the theft. He confessed to lying during the trial. Okay, let's move to the next one and why they are not correct. Conjured. Conjured refers to creating something magically. The magician conjured a rabbit from his hat. The goldsmith did not create anything magically, right? It's not correct. Contradicted refers to opposing or denying a statement. So the goldsmith admitted guilt, not denial. Where we can use contradicted, the witness contradicted the defendant's claims. This is not the right option. Next one is condemned. Condemned refers to sentencing or expressing strong disapproval. And the goldsmith here was the one confessing, not judging others. For example, the court condemned the criminal for his actions. Make sense? Correct option is confessed. So we have chosen that, meaning displaced and confessed.